Well, I think we'll go ahead and get started. So I just want to start off by saying welcome to our very first user conference. And also known as the moment we cannot finally all come together in one room and hear your feedback. It's really fantastic to see our mix of longtime clients, users, partners, and industry friends here in Lake Tahoe. We appreciate you taking the time to join us. My own journey with PX4 started exactly a year ago, my third interview in person here, meeting all of you at Mallory. So it's been a crazy year. And 12 months later, I casually use the words like jurisdiction and mapping in regular everyday conversation. So that's been interesting. So let's reflect on the last year. We welcomed 5 new customers across North America. We've expanded our team and continued building out the platform with new jurisdictions and capabilities. We are now mapped across the world in 66 jurisdictions with more on the way. We also hosted our very first international land management short course at the American Exploration and Mining Association with the help of our clients Leslie Olmstead of Cobalt Metals and Mary Chitwood of Tech. We plan on hosting a full day short course this year, as well as continuing to be a source of subject matter expertise for land management software. So it's been a busy year, and if it felt busy on your end, that's exactly why we're here. Because the reality is, land managers are dealing with more complexity than ever, more data, more regulations, more moving parts, and probably more spreadsheets than anyone should have to admit to. Our goal at PX4 is to make your lives easier and to bring structure to the complexity and give you the tools that actually work the way you need them to. So what can you expect today? You're going to hear about some major product updates from the past year, get a look at what's coming next, and more importantly, hear directly from your peers. We're excited to have Cobalt Metals share their experience of working with PX4, which is also way more convincing than us telling you how great we are. And our partnerships continue to play a big role in how we strengthen both our product and our expertise. So over the past year, we've focused on building strategic relationships that allow us to better support your workflows and expand the value we deliver. So I'd like to take a moment to recognize some of the organizations we've partnered with this year. You can go to the partnership slide too if you want.
I'm already behind.
It's okay. Pronto, we're working on a partnership with Esri, and we have Rebecca from Esri here today. Hello, thank you for being here. And Walcott, who will also be giving us a talk today. These collaborations are an important step in ensuring we continue to evolve alongside your needs. We have Jason Bogart from Walcott today joining us to share insights on running title using BLM resources. But beyond the presentations, today is really about connection. Today's your opportunity to talk to your peers, compare notes, share challenges, and maybe even confirm that you're not the only one dealing with a particularly challenging landowner or land package. We also want to hear your feedback, honest feedback, the kind that helps us build a better product. So if something works, tell us. If something doesn't work, definitely tell us. We promise to take notes and to not take it personally. Looking ahead, we're incredibly excited about where PX4 is going. What started in Australia has grown to support users across 6 continents, 66 jurisdictions mapped, and yes, that's officially the 4th time I've said jurisdiction in this presentation, for those of you keeping score. Most importantly, we want today to be enjoyable. This is a chance to step away from your day-to-day work, connect with peers who actually understand what you do, and hopefully leave with new ideas, friends, and inspiration. So to get things started, we're going to kick off with a quick icebreaker to help everybody get to know each other. I don't know if we need to go around for every single person, but maybe with the people that you're sitting with, I'd love to hear about what's the most remote or unexpected place your work has taken you in land management. So introduce yourself to your peers, say hello, and we'll be back in just a minute. Hey, did we get any good answers that anybody wants to share? I can start with mine. I was working for the American Exploration and Mining Association. I was in Fairbanks, and last minute they threw me in a car and took me up to the Usabelli coal mine in Healy, which is an incredible deposit of coal that you can see just in the side of the mountain. It was just fantastic, and I never thought I'd be there in my entire life, and it was wonderful. Anybody else have any answers they want to share? Weird places they've been? So now I am proud to introduce Sean Fugate, our client success manager, who has been such a wonderful addition to our team. He is the most detail-oriented person I've ever met. And then John Watson, our new implementation specialist, to kind of walk through some of our bigger updates this year and what's to come. So go ahead, Sean.
Thanks
So much.
And like Izzy, I've only been with PX4 for about a year. First of all, my name's Sean Fugate, for those of you who don't know me. I think I know most everybody in this room already. The farthest in this past year that I've ever gone is actually to Saudi Arabia, to Riyadh, which was pretty awesome because I was, as most people probably already know already, I was an interrogator for 6 years in the U.S. Army. That got me into UX research, and UX research got me into what I'm doing right now, which is essentially software development for all of you. But I want to, I'm happy to talk about any of that at length. Right? I am outside of the expiration date of my security clearance, so I can talk about all of it. But if we want to go to the next slide. So you probably saw the ticker on the way in today. That was 237 releases since last MALRE in PX4. And walking you through all of those 237 releases would put you to sleep before noon. So we're not going to do that. Instead, I'm just going to focus on four releases that I kept coming back to as I started to put these slides together. Not because they're the biggest items on the ticker, but because when you line them up next to each other, they kind of tell you a little bit about PX4's values and about how we've been spending the past year. Can everybody hear me in the back? Yep. Perfect. All right. So there's two themes, 4 releases. It'll be about 15 minutes, give or take, and we'll start with the first. So the first is that PX4 watches your back, and that's what I'm calling it right now is, and it's basically 2 ways that we keep your portfolio safe, secure, as you need it to be. And I've broken these up into two releases, or well, I'm lying a little bit. The first one isn't going to be a release. It's actually, it's a process that's been running in the background for years, but it's a process that you don't see. You probably never will. It doesn't have a UI component to it. We'll talk about that one first. So this is called health check reporting. It's an underpinning process that's been running at PX4 for years. I'm putting it here anyway because I want you to know about it. It's kind of going to be the strangest slide in this deck because it doesn't have a UI. It's not something fancy. It's not something that you're going to see. And that's the whole point. Every night, when you're sleeping or doing whatever you're doing, PX4 is running automated reports across every client portfolio in the system. The reports will flag duplicate actions, missing report actions, broken workflows in PX4, and they land in our support inbox. And then by the morning time, everybody has been assigned a health check report to address it, and they get addressed very quickly. You don't see any of this unless we bring your attention to it, and that's by design. We really want it to be so that by the time you log in the morning, you don't have to worry about any of this. I'll give you a couple of recent examples. I'm not going to name any names, but last month we had a land manager with one of our North American clients create a mineral exploration permit at a MEP in Arizona. It's a standard workflow, except it never fully initiated. Could have not initiated for a lot of different reasons. Maybe the browser was closed before it actually initiated. But by the next morning, we had HCR 05 in the support inbox, and that's our orphan authority diagnostic. And so it flagged it, support team assigned it, and then we brought it to the attention of our client, and we addressed it. We got rid of the erroneous authority, and we created a new one together. For a different client, we had a report HCR 04. It's another one. There's 17 different ones of these, just so you know. Started flagging 2 newly imported authorities for this client. And this report in particular, it looks for missing report actions on certain authority types. It basically says that these should have report actions, but they don't, which is not something you probably would think, but it looks for missing things that should be there. So we went and we looked, and we found out that PX4 was actually wrong in this case. the report action wasn't supposed to be there. It wasn't supposed to be there by intention. HER looked for it. So now they're excluded. The health check reports are excluding looking for those reports for those particular jurisdictions. So we didn't add any reports back. We just told the system, stop looking for reports here. They shouldn't exist. And so the system learned something new about how that jurisdiction actually operates. But I think it's important to try and be clear about what we're telling you here. We're not telling you that PX4 is perfect, because software is not perfect. What I'm telling you is that when something does go wrong, and things always go wrong in software, is that there's a layer of operational work that's always running underneath every portfolio every night to find these things that exist, these errors that exist, and fix them. That's the work you don't see. Next slide is work you do see. So it's got a different kind of story behind it. A few months ago, I was on a call with another North American land manager. We were going to go through their daily task list together. It's the kind of working session where we watch how you all do your work, how you do your work with the software, and try and find out how we might, what your underlying needs are and how we might make the software work better for you. This person was talking through their approach to prioritizing actions, and they said something that really stuck with me. They said, I don't sort by deadline. I sort by what happens if I miss a deadline. And that's really this whole feature, is the consequence of an action. So what you're going to see here is the result. I've got a screenshot in just a second, is the result of that work. It's a severity, consequence type, and impact are now first-class fields in every action in PX4. Color-coded priority flags will surface the riskiest actions first. You can sort by them. You can assign them in bulk. If anybody wants to see this feature afterwards, I'm happy to walk you through it first person. But it allows you to visually track which actions in PX4 you need to get completed, and it's according to your own priority. So when you log into PX4, you look at your actions list, a lot of you might be looking at something like 500 or thousands of items, even more. That's not unusual when you're talking about scale. But drawing your eye to those actions that you need to complete first, that's the hard part, because you're triaging by deadline. So with the visual indicator now, and you can see it up here, these red dots and orange dots, yellow dots, green dots on the left-hand side there. You can basically scan this page of hundreds or thousands of actions, and your eye will go straight to the most catastrophic ones first.
And you could also sort by those now, right?
Yeah, you can sort by them too. Yep. You can filter by them. You can sort by them. Yep. And like I said, I'm happy to show you how to set that up. But this shipped in December. We've tightened it up a little bit in March. There's more work to do. But the reason I'm telling you about the origin story isn't because we're looking for a pat on the back. It's really Kirsten's team and that built this, but it's because I wanted you to know about the way that the client described this work and how we built the feature. They didn't fill out a feature request form. It wasn't some sort of online process. Basically, we just had a conversation. So we just listened to you. So if you've ever caught yourself wishing something existed in PX4 that aligns more with the way that you actually think about land management, just tell us, because that's our shtick. We listen and we build it in PX4 for you. That's the entire mechanism. The second theme is what I'm calling your data, your tools. This is about two ways that we get the right information into the right hands, and the dashboards, the people who actually need it. It's basically the same structure as the first theme. You'll see one of these you'll see, and one is more about where your data goes than what it looks like in PX4. So the first one is reports that run while you sleep. So this one came from a different kind of a conversation. It wasn't a working session. It wasn't like a non-negotiable or anything. We were scoping a major migration with one of our largest clients. And the compliance lead on their team made it clear that automated report scheduling was an absolute necessity. It was a requirement that they needed. That was their words, not mine. Their team was generating dozens of reports a day, logging in, setting filters, running exports, emailing the results to the right people every morning, all of these reports. They weren't asking for something that was what we would consider a nice to have. This was a must have, minimum viable. So that's what we built. You save your filters once, you schedule a report, and we still have the video on that afterwards.
Yeah,
but,
we can show that. I have no idea if the sound's going to work, but we're going to find out right now.
1 second. Yeah, PX. So we'll email at a cadence, and you'll see how you set this up daily, weekly, monthly. There's no second step. Once you set it, you forget about it, and then you get those emails going. This shipped in November. We've enhanced it a number of times since. Frequency options in place of editing, save schedules, things like that. One thing to flag about this one is you're going to hear Toby this afternoon talk about PDF report generation, signature blocks, automated distribution, those things. This work is in active development right now. What you'll see, this slide, this process is the foundation for all of that. It's getting built on top of. So when you hear it later today, you can know that part of the system you're looking for is already here in PX4. Yeah, I don't know.
Let's take a look at how to set up an automated report, one of the biggest time savers we've introduced. You can now schedule reports to be sent automatically. Just navigate to your Actions List page, set your filters, save your view, give your report a name, and then toggle the email schedule button. Then you can select at what cadence you want the report to be sent, and even what time you'd like the report to be sent. Then enter the email addresses of the recipients, and it's as easy as that. This is ideal for keeping stakeholders informed without having to manually generate and send reports each time.
So this is the last one. This is the one that's probably the easiest to talk about because there's really nothing on screen to demo for this one. There's no UI, it's just an API. To kind of go back a ways, over the past years, a number of clients have started using PX4's API pretty extensively. It's like authority data, project data, stakeholder data. It's pulled straight to their own internal dashboards or Power BI. They've built things along with our API that we honestly didn't know was capable until we saw the results. As they've gone deeper, they keep coming back to us and saying, I need action data too, or they need some other kind of data. The action endpoint doesn't expose the fields I need, or something like that. Have you considered exposing this? They weren't really filing tickets again through the support portal. They're just running their own integration work, giving us feedback during our meetings, and we were putting that into tickets for them and getting the API built out even further. So we would just build it. And the slide isn't going to show you a screenshot. We will show you some of what that looks like from the client side, but it'll all be anonymized. But you can get a sense of what's possible through our API. I think part of the point here is that it's PX4's. Our job is not to be the place that you look at your data. We're not trying to force everybody to come through our UI so that you can look at your data. We do want to make our UI usable for you so that it's easy to do when you want to. But it's our job to make sure that your data ends up wherever you need it to be. Okay. And that's the whole thing, really. It's your data, your tools, and that's what it means. We don't want to trap your information. We want to be the system of record that everything else pulls from. It's your dashboards, your reports, your spatial layers, audit trails. They all should really come from the same place. And that place should play nicely with all of your other tools and every other place that you've invested in. So that's basically it. 4 releases, 2 themes. This is the work you don't see, the work you do see. The work goes out, and then the work that goes everywhere else. So, and that's how we focused our year.
John's going to talk a
Thank you,
little bit
everybody.
about our international expansion.
I'm John Watson. Right now, we're expanding into different languages. So if you guys have different areas that you guys are expanding into, let us know. We are more than happy to put different languages into the system. You know, for big companies, you know, you're often working with teams that are across borders. Somebody's speaking Spanish in Argentina, someone speaking English up in Nevada. We want to make sure that that communication is as easy as possible and the data makes sense across borders. We have new languages. We have Russian, Indonesian is coming very soon. Portuguese, Spanish, and French already implemented into our system. And we'd love to hear if you guys have any other languages that you need added so that we can put that on our roadmap and get that settled for you.
I might just add.
Oh, yeah.
So just some other interesting points on the language localization. So again, lots of our clients here will have teams that are operating in locally in Spanish or French or Portuguese, whatever it may be. So the whole system is localized into these languages. So all of your actions, all of your workflows, all of the dashboards and the reminders, all of that is localized into the local language. So all of the all of the static pages within the system localize into those languages. If you do have teams that are operating internationally in different languages and they're saving comments or documents into the system, they're what we call dynamic fields. And those are not going to be localized into the local languages, but they can be translated through a Google Translate just on your screen. So just a note on the localizations that are coming there. I know we've got some clients that are operating in South America and Europe and other parts of the world. But yeah, we'd love to hear if you've got any other languages that we aren't currently covering. It's getting easier and easier for us to add new languages into the database. So we're really excited about ensuring that all of your teams are operating locally in their local language, because again, that to us is always going to generate the best outcomes from a compliance perspective. So that's why we're doing it. Thanks, John.
No worries.
Okay.
And the next little bit is yes. Yes.
So is there, to do the translate, is it something you'd have to go out and do into Google, or is that trying to incorporate within the system you do a translate?
Yeah, so oftentimes you'll receive an email in another language and it automatically, your Outlook will translate it for you automatically. It's that style of translation. So I think if you've got a setting on your browser turned on that your browser allows for translations to happen real time, it'll translate those comments for you.
But yeah, in our system, you can select the language you want to view the system in. So again, if you have a team in Africa, they're working in French or something, they can have their system set up in French. It's automatically in French, and you can have yours in English.
Yeah, so the system itself, the language that you're seeing is driven in your profile. So every individual user can select their own view and their own language within their own profile. So you don't need to leave for that. But yeah, those dynamic fields that aren't translating, if you've got that toggle turned on your browser, it will translate those for you through a Google Translate. Again, we're not then justifying or validating the comments and slang and things like that. You'll always have colloquialisms. We'll always have some challenges even for Google Translate as well.
Murray, did you have a question? I saw your hand flutter up.
What about Turkish?
Oh, wait.
Ooh, we'll add it to
And feel free to talk about it. And in our breakout sessions, we can discuss that in more detail too. But up next, we have the ArcGIS development. So this has been a major investment for PX4 in the last year. And we're also very proud to announce that we're in the process of becoming an Esri partner. So that integration is coming very soon too. To talk more about that, though, I'm going to pass it over to Kirsten. Virtually, he has a pre-recorded video for you guys to watch. He's the project lead on this and the CTO.
our product manager.
Got to get the titles right. But
Before you get to the video, I might also just say, so again, we do have Rebecca here from Esri, where we're really excited about leaning into what we're calling a Map First product. So we're really conscious that a lot of the dashboards and the system that we've built is essentially a data first system. And so an expansion and providing the option for users to have a map first system as well is part of the roadmap and where we're moving towards. and a partnership with Esri is a really exciting step in that journey. So for those of you who have already got some ArcGIS layers integrated and embedded within your system, you'll probably already understand the types of capability we have within PX4 from a spatial perspective. So the interaction with your mapping data within PX4 is relatively limited. It's essentially just a display of the cadastral layers that you have from ArcGIS or rather mapping systems that's linked in your admin portal, and that then drives the layers that you're able to toggle on and off on the various map screens within the database. But within the map, for example, you can't draw a polygon or select an area and identify all of the affected polygons within that polygon. So there's some really exciting developments on that front from a spatial perspective that we're really excited to be working with the Esri team on. And so again, I know that Sean, from a UI UX perspective, did a lot of kind of reach out to kind of better understand the types of challenges that some of our clients have from a spatial perspective. So again, we'd love to lean into that and make sure that we're really building out the types of capability that you want to see within the PX4 system from a spatial perspective. We still see the source of truth for your mapping data always being Esri or your mapping database. We don't want to replace and say that we're the source of truth for spatial data, but we want to make sure that you can interact with that data and use that data in the most effective way possible within the system. So any other feedback or ideas on that front, if you've got some that are a little bit specific to your use case or things like that, we'd love to hear them. But I know that Sean also did a lot of user research to kind of make sure that we understood some of the challenges you're trying to solve from a spatial perspective. But yeah, so really excited about what that means and what's to come on that front as well.